everyone. Thank you for joining today. So we decided to do this. I'm with the City of Santa Barbara. I'm the business analyst with building and safety. On the call with me is also Tina Dye, our building official. So we thank you all for including us to be able to show you our new platform that we're really excited that we launched on September 9th. It's called DigiPlan. And so what it is it's an electronic planner view software for us. And the great thing is it also impacted you as a submitter to our portal and improve some of the submission standards. And so that's what I'm going to go over with you all today. So I will share my screen. This is, at any point when I'm going through, feel free to pop in and ask a question. I'm happy to help. But first, I need to make sure I can share my screen, and I'm going to turn off my video just to make sure it doesn't slow down on that. Oh.
Recording in progress.
Let's see. All right. So you should be able to see my screen. If you can't, let me know, please.
We can see it.
Okay. So I'm going to go to the home page, but first I'm going to increase the size of my mouse just so it's easier to see. Okay. So this new, oh, I don't know what that is. Ooh. Was that just me?
No, I heard it as well, but it's gone now.
Okay. All right. So for this is Citizens Access. You should all be familiar with this. This is the platform that you use to submit with the City of Santa Barbara for our permitting needs. Since I'm with Building and Safety, I'm going to be going over the Building and Safety submittal. This also is going to be similar for both planning and then Public Works and Fire as well. But again, I'm more efficient and understanding of building practices. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on today. But before I start on this, I just want to show you a web page that we have created. So if you ever just want to look for how to find this link for Citizens Access, a good way to do that is if you just get onto the City of Santa Barbara's website here. If you go to Services and drop that down, you'll see this Construction and Land Development here. If you click that, you'll see here, Apply for a Permit. There's some other options here too, but the one I want you all to see is that Apply for Permit page. We have updated this with our new DigiPlan software information. So we now have a pretty intensive guide on all things Citizens Access that we didn't have before. I'll click on it so you can see it's a pretty long guide. It's about 48 pages here. Let me zoom in. So it has a bunch of different topics that I think are really great to be able to save, register for an account, search information, and so forth. So this is a really good tool. I think you should all save if you're able to. But again, as long as you get to this Apply for Permit page, you'll see this button here, which is the permit portal. So that's another way to get to the permit portal. My recommendation is always go to the Apply for Permit page. For example, some of you might have experienced recently, some of the links you may have saved didn't work. And that was because one of the platforms we used, we are no longer using it. So it made those links invalid. We put in a workaround, but it took some time for IT to get that workaround in. So anytime if you ever have a situation where you're using one of your saved links and it's just not working, try going to this page first and selecting our permit portal, because we generally always keep this link up to date. If this one's also not working, then feel free to reach out to us. Here's the counters. So like I said, I'm with Building and Safety, so feel free to reach out to us and let us know those links aren't working. All right, so this is Citizens Access. If I wasn't logged in on this right-hand side, you would log in like usual. This is all pretty much exactly the same. You can see right here, there's a building. So I want to create an application. So what I'm going to go through with you all today is showing you what it looks like to submit a new application with us. So this page right here, still the same. Nothing has changed. There's a good old disclaimer. This page again, nothing has changed here. The overall design might look a little updated, but it's still the same. So you have your on-demands, your pre-applications. I'm just going to run through it as a residential permit. Let me zoom in for you. So like I said, I'm just going to drop down that residential permit and continue application. So as I go through this, I'll tell you what the differences are and what's the same. And like I said, at any point, feel free to jump in. I can't see people, so you're just gonna have to unmute and say, hey, Raven, I have a question. So,
And also, this is Tina, everyone. I'm monitoring to see if any hands are raised. So can't see everyone all at once. So we'll work through this and be patient. Thanks.
all right, so here, this is it's the exact same. You search your address. You don't need to insert this information as the owner. You can see there's no button there. It will automatically put in the parcel. A little tip, don't do that. Sometimes what happens is, this has happened a few times, avoid putting in the street type when you're doing it, submitting the address. Just do the street number and street name. That's it, and hit search. Sometimes what happens is when you put in that street type, it breaks the system. It doesn't know. So just put in again the street name, street number, hit search. It should find that parcel. And also another friendly tip, I used to be a permit tech, so I've seen some of this happen, is parcel addresses and mailing addresses can be different. And what that means is, for example, when you have a house or a property that's on the corner of two cross streets, what the parcel address may be different than what the mailing address is. So our system is based off of parcels. So if you know the parcel, for example, if you're putting in the address and it's not popping up, try that parcel number. Another tip that I can give is commercial lots, especially like the strip mall kind of commercial lots. Those generally have one parcel but multiple addresses, again, the mailing address. So a lot of times what happens is, as long as you know that parcel, you can get through. It's going to plop an address onto there that's going to be different than the address of, for example, like the Gelson's parking lot. There's multiple addresses in there, but to parcels, there's one. So if that ever happens to you, feel free to just go with the address that the system's giving you. And then when you get to the part where you can put in your description for the project, put the address that it's supposed to be in there. So the permit text, the counter staff will know to update, because we can update the address, so you guys cannot. So I'll clarify on another step where that would go. All right, so again, here is the exact same. I just got to select from the account. You are able to put that licensed professional. You can add new or look up. I'm going to skip this step, but you're more than welcome, especially if you know the contractor. That's a really good place to put that information. So this permit detail page, still exactly the same. So this project description box, this is what I was saying, where if you have those moments where the parcel address is not matching that mailing address that you're using for the project, go ahead and put that in this box here saying, hey, it's supposed to be this address, please update. And the counter staff will see that and do that. I'm just gonna put some numbers in here to get through this. And this is our test platform. So this isn't actually going to create an actual project. So again, all this is exactly the same that you're all going through, that job value, project description, if it's new or alteration for your square footage here, and then some site detail. So you can see there's going to be these red asterisks. That area is what we require, information that we do require when you are submitting. Is there any questions about this page? Again, it's the exact same one that you've all been through. All right. So now we're getting to the new part. So this is where our DigiPlan, which is for you all, is called Digital Projects to the Public. So this page is now new. It's pretty much our upload standards. It's a good thing. It's going to always show before you get to the actual document upload. So some of the changes are right here, these bold portions where We really want the naming of the documents. It's really helpful. So staff knows if it's round 2, round 3, and so forth, to put that submittal number in the document name. And also the big change, I believe, for you all is this plan sheet numbering. And it'll make more sense when I get to the next step of this, but essentially what this is what Digital Projects is reading is it's reading your PDF bookmarks, and it's going to have that information. So when the plans examiners are putting in corrections on the actual documents, it's going to know that that comment went on A3. So the system needs to know that sheet is called A3, and how it does that is the PDF bookmark. So again, I'll go over that as well. So this is the new digital projects. This is very different from what we had before. You'll see here this blue ribbon. What it's saying is for this residential type project, we're expecting there to be an application and a plan set submitted. So that's a document type. So also, if you ever forget what those submission standards are, here you go. Here's that for submission standards. You can just click that. So here's that document. So this is another way to see what the submission standards are. If you maybe are like, what the heck was on that first page? I already went by it. So the cool thing about this that we like is you can now drag and drop files into this, or you can click on the box and it will pop open a separate file folder for you to select which documents you want to go with. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So today I'm just going to do 3 documents here.
Raven, your screen went away.
I see that.
Okay.
I was like, it's like, where did it go? Thank you. Guess it didn't like me clicking multiple documents. All right, you should be back now, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so there's those 2. So I'm going to show you what happens if I don't select an application. So just pay attention to this line up here. You'll see how when I select plans, it's gonna change. So this is a structural calc. So this is that doc type that I was talking about. You go ahead and click on just that arrow. This is a structural calcs. And what it's doing is just kind of checking to see if there's any viruses on those documents. That's what that is. And then this one's a plan. So I'm going to go ahead and click plans. And then you can see that blue line, it changed. And now it says I still am missing an application. So again, what that means is I need to have one of these, my doc type needs to be an application. So I'm going to go back to this drag files or click to upload. And I'm going to use this one as my application. Did it just stop again?
Yes.
Yes, again.
Why is it doing that? Let's see.
Make your other window active.
Screen 1, share. Please, it failed to start. Let's try my other one. Share. No. Uh-oh. It does not like me. It's not letting me share anymore. I might have to leave and jump back in.
If you minimize your Zoom, does it come back?
No, it's giving me a screen sharing has failed to start. Please try again later.
Oh.
Error code.
Oh boy.
So I'm going to hop out and hop back in, and hopefully that will clear whatever error is going on. So I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Fingers crossed. It works. Can never trust technology too much. Okay, let's hope that won't happen again. So,
Hey, Raven, it's April.
yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm on that very same page on my other browser and I am not getting, I'm actually trying to not upload a deadline today. And I'm not getting that dashed box that says drag files to upload. And I'm logged
Uh,
in.
okay. Potentially on yours, is it already in review? Like you're on first or second review, maybe?
Yeah, the record status is hearing prep or hearing.
Hearing, so it's a PLN?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm not 100% sure on PLNs. I deal with BLDs, but potentially it may be because the status that they have it locked at that status, so you can't upload during that status. So I don't know if there's maybe a note there that maybe says what status it has to be.
yeah, it just says hearing prep.
Okay,
Okay, I'll reach out to my planner. Thanks.
okay. Who's your planner?
I don't recall for this
Okay,
case. I have too
it's
many
okay.
open cases.
Alrighty, sorry about that.
Thanks.
Okay, so you can see this one is that ADU application. So again, if you pay attention to this blue line here, when I go ahead and select application, it now no longer says I have to upload an application. But if you notice on the plan document here, it says it failed plan sheet checks, click here to resolve. So the nice thing about this digital projects for you all is it's pretty clear on what you have to do. So it'll always tell you where you need to click to resolve it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that red text. So this is where those bookmarks I was talking about come into play. And I will show you what it looks like from the PDF side of bookmarks. So that makes sense. Now, unfortunately, I can't fully explain how you can get bookmarks. We have some in our guide, some explanations, but everyone's systems are set up a bit differently. So what it's looking at is this right here on a PDF. It's this bookmark tab. This is what the system is reading. So
Raven,
again,
we lost you
Screen
again.
gone.
We
oh
did.
goodness, is it a like security thing? I have no idea. Let's try the other screen. Moving everything. Share. Okay, sliding over. Let's hope the screen is better luck. All right, so I'll go back over that. So what the system is reading is on the PDF here, this bookmark tab, it's reading these bookmarks. So that's what's important to have already set up before you even go into our system to upload. It's going to save you a lot of time. It's not required. You can do this by hand. But again, let's say you have a 20+ page plan set. You really don't want to have to go and type that in our system. You want to have it done before. So you can see here, it says A0. Let me maximize that. These are those bookmarks here. So what it's going to do is you can't have duplicates. You can see the sheet reference is a duplicate. That means in this system, I have another one that's a 2.3. Again, if you have a big plan set, if I may fix this one and it still says I have errors, I'm like, where the heck are the errors? You don't want to go page by page by page. A quick way to see all the pages with errors is down here at the bottom. It says show only sheets with errors. So if I go ahead and toggle that, there you go. I'm seeing those two sheets. You can see I have two that say 2.3. We have some magnifying glasses that you can zoom in. I like using these to be able to read what the corners say. You can see both of them are not even what they're supposed to be. But for time's sake, I'm just going to change the one. And then it's going to make this other one go away. And I know it's sheet 21. So if I toggle this back off, see now I have no sheets with errors again, because I had duplicates. And then if I want to go find that E sheet that I know was named incorrectly, I can click at the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see sheet 1 and 2. And that was number 21 that I remember here. And I can update this one. So this is what I mean. If you do not set your bookmarks in your review systems before you get to this, all of these lines are going to be blank and it's going to ask you to type them in by hand. You really don't want to have to do that. So that's my little tip for the big tip for you all. So you can see up here, when you see this right here, no sheets have errors, you're good to submit, save, It's doing its little search review, and we're good to go now. So down here, you'll see I can now continue with that application. Is there any questions about this submittal page? This is really the big change for us. All right. So from here, we're just going to go to the review page. This is, again, the same as before. It's just kind of giving you all a condensed version of everything that's been put in to review. Be like, yeah, that's right. The job value, all this is right. I'm going to check that box and continue application, and that will be the end of it. That will create a BLD. And here you go. That's how you know. When you get this page, congrats, you've created a BLD. At this point, you will also get an email to you saying that we have received your documents and your application. So that's how to submit a new application. Any questions about what I showed?
I have a question.
Mhm.
This is Ida, and my question is, in general, our design team, when I work with SEPs, and so I'm submitting these applications as a public agency coordinator, so it's a building or grading permits. And so my question is, if we tell our design team, like say they're from LA and or wherever, but just say, remind them about the bookmarking system. They already know about bookmarking, so just remind them to double check their bookmarks prior to sending their information to us.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I know sometimes that's what happens with some of the plans we'll see is the ones that you make, they're bookmarked, but then when you're receiving them, like for example, engineering or landscaping, those sheets won't have them. So then it will be on you to type those in. So to avoid that is to make sure when you're combining your sheets to be into one set, make sure those bookmarks are being carried over.
Okay. Okay. And I mean, this does not happen much. I mean, very often, but it has at the county. So it does happen,
Okay.
So, okay, this is good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
All right. So the next thing I'm going to show, so that's that. The next thing I'm going to show is what our corrections now look like and how to respond to corrections. But since there was that planning hearing, I will bring up a good point. So this BLD, this is going to be the same where you see your records that you are working on. The My Records will still be the same when you hit that building tab. It'll just pop you to that list. You'll see this one I'm going to click on. It's in plan review status. So I'll show you similar to what the question earlier, what's happening is this is pretty much the same. That record info is still here. The attachment button is still there. But for example, if I go to attachments, it's just going to show you documents. You'll no longer be able to upload from this tab where everything is. And it's right here, big letters here for you to upload documents, click on new digital projects. It's this tab right here. So this is where I go. So you can see the submissions packet. I can't click it. I can't upload anything. This note right here, document uploading is disabled when the record status is in planner view. If I go up here, you'll see that record status is in planner view. So we have it locked. The reason why we did this is because there was a bit of confusion for plan reviewing staff is when documents are being uploaded mid-review, half the staff had already did the review on the earlier document than the other half. No one knew which one people were looking at, and it was just creating confusion, and it wasn't benefiting you all because then we may be giving you late corrections because of that. So we've gone through and locked this system so you can't upload if it's in plan review status. Now, there is times when there's an offhand, it makes sense for you to upload. When that happens, if you're directed by the plan reviewer, then the plan reviewer has to tell our counter staff, hey, they need to change the status on this. And all the staff here are aware of this. So our counter staff will essentially be sending you an email saying, we've changed the status so you're able to upload. It's going to be like this for the next 24 hours or so. And then we're going to change it back. So we'll give you a time frame when you can go ahead and upload. Any questions about that? All right. So what I'm going to show you is what it looks like when you receive corrections. So you can see this one is in return to applicant. I already went ahead and put some corrections in. So what has changed is before you were all used to when you got corrections from us, it would be attached to the email. This new system, we're not able to do that anymore. So corrections are no longer attached to emails. So you will have to go into the BLD to download corrections. So you would click that BLD record number to bring up that page. Again, here's that new digital projects. I'd click that. And you can see the difference here. So remember the last one I did, it was in plan review status. This did not open. I couldn't even get here. So you can see I can upload, and it's expecting me to upload a plans because I had corrections on my plans. So that's the other really cool thing about this document is staff are now going to be able to put corrections on multiple documents. So if there's structural calcs that need a correction, they can put structural calcs. And then on here, it would say it's expecting you to upload a structural calcs because you got corrections on your structural calcs. But what I want to show you is this files tab here. So you can see there's the first submittal, those same documents I uploaded, but there's 2 additional ones that we created as staff. So the first one here is the marked up report. So if I go ahead and click the checkbox and then I go up here to download, it's going to start running. It's thinking, and then I have to scroll down. It says selected files are ready. Click here to download. So if I go ahead and click there, now it's downloading. So here is that file. So what the nice thing about digital projects, what it does is when we put corrections on sheets, for example, like this is a correction. If I hover over it, it's just a random one I put in. It's only going to pull out the sheets that staff put notes on. It's not going to give you any of the sheets that there's no notes on. But please note, we're not saying that you should only submit 5 sheets back. We still expect a full plan set, but we just want to give you a condensed version of where those corrections are. So that's something that you'll have available to you to download. Again, it's going to be called that marked up report. Another document is our corrections letter. So it's called the consolidated comment letter. Again, this used to be attached to the email that you received when you said corrections are required. It's no longer doing that. You will have to go into the project itself and go to the files tab right here to download both of these documents. So again, here's that green box. You'll click here to download. And this is our new version of our corrections letter here. So it's review 1. Let me zoom in. It has the date the report was ran. The description will be here in the record type. So one of the new things is these general project comments. So these are comments that are not going to be put on any specific document. And generally, they're going to be maybe more advisory. These ones, like I said, I just put in some test ones. But generally, staff should be using these to advise, for example, building and safety may say school fee needs signatures. So if it's not something that needs to be on a document, that's where the general project comments are going to live. What this ID number means, it's just the order the corrections came in. I think it's going to be really great for you all to use this to your benefit when talking to plan review staff to say, I have a question about ID number 7. You know, what does that mean? So that's how you can use that to your own benefit. And this comment row, you'll see it says yes. This could also say no. What this means is we're expecting you to reply with a response. So if it says no, then again, we don't need you to give us a response. It's just like a heads up. And then on the right side, you'll have the name of the person who did the review. So again, this is general projects. These are the general comments. These are the first ones you'll see. They're not associated with any document generally. Some staff have used it as like an overarching, just a whole project. For example, you know, electrical sheets are missing. You know, you may see that. Then you'll have a line break here and you'll see plan corrections. What this section means is there's comments on the actual document. So right here, you'll see it says document first submittal. So that's how you'll know which document you're looking at here. So it will tell you that page reference number in this column. So that's where those bookmarks come into handy because we want to be able to tell you, okay, on A10, you're going to see this comment. All right. And again, we have that yes or no. column. So it could be no, but all these are generally going to be yes. There's that ID. This is just the order that the comments came in. And on the right side, it's the reviewer's name. And then at the bottom, it will generally have all the reviewers' names, email, and phone numbers if they have one. Any questions about this layout of the corrections letter?
I have a question. This is
Mhm.
Ida
Yeah.
from SEPS. Okay, so what if we have an outside plan check consultant? Are you
Mhm.
going to provide another, will there be another, like sometimes it's a city and it's an outside plan check reviewer?
Yeah.
BV, for example?
Yeah, so we have given them, we created licenses so they can use this system too. They're still kind of in the process of getting their staff to use this, but the goal is that their corrections would be under this. So you're only needing to download one document. But for right now, you'll still have some that say, there will be a comment in here saying, please download a separate corrections letter. That tells you that there's a second one available. Good question.
Thank you.
Raven, there's a question in the chat that's
Ah.
from Crystal. Will we be notified automatically by email when corrections have been completed by city staff?
Not exactly when they are completed, because essentially what ends up happening on the staff end is it goes onto a report that the counter staff go through. So it will, if let's say the last person reviewed yesterday, the second that person's done, it goes on a report. Just know that the permit techs work on reports, they print them in the morning of. So generally, if it was finished, the review was finished today, they're likely not getting it to it till the next day. But that also depends on just staffing shortages and how many there are. You know, there's right now there's only 2 of them. We're going to be getting another one next week, but so there has been a little bit of a slowdown on some of the processing. But it won't be an auto email. When you get that email, that means the permit tech has moved the project forward. Think someone else was maybe gonna ask the question, not sure if I heard.
I have a question. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
Justin with Parks and Recreation.
Mhm.
So it used to be that there was a line where you could write in your response. How do you want us to respond now?
Yeah, so there's gonna be 2 ways, and I'll show you that right now. So the other cool thing about this new technology is there's this comment tab here. So what this does is it actually, let me zoom out so you can see more of it. You can actually respond digitally if you want. So what we expect is you're either going to do your responses using this tab that I'm going to go over, or you submit a separate PDF document. At some point, we may make it that this tab is required to fill out. Right now, we have not done that. You know, we want you all to get used to digital projects before we start making some things more mandatory. So again, we may turn this on to say it has to be done, but right now it's not. So what the permit techs are going to see, they're either going to want to see corrections via this way or a separate document. And that is going to essentially be use those ID numbers. You can block them in as building and safety, ID 2, 3, use those ID numbers to help say which one you're responding to, or if you have room, you can try and fit it on that document that you've been sent. I know some of you all like use maybe like PDF Acrobat to type onto the corrections letter that we send. Either way is fine. It just needs to be clear which comment you're responding to. So this one, what's really cool about this is, so like I said, this is going to show you all the corrections that have been submitted to you and by department. Since I'm the only one that went in this, it's only going to be building. But the nice thing is right here is some tools for you. If you go zoom to fit, there you go. There's that whole plan set. So there's a comment there. If I go, let's say to this one, it's going to take me to a different page. And that's a separate page. So this is a very nice way to be able to go through and respond to corrections. And where that response goes is down here at the bottom. You'll see it says enter response. If you can say, for this sake, I'm just going to say, okay, and hit respond. There you go. So that's a way to respond. This one has been responded to. So you can go through each one and respond this way. All right. Now, in the rare occasion that, you know, maybe you have a couple and you can just do a batch response, you can do that. If you do check all the top box right here, you're checking multiple. You see 5 comments were selected. Okay, and respond. So now all of them got that. Another way to go through this and sort, because, you know, I just only did 5. There's clearly more corrections because I have a total of 7, you'll see. You can drop this box down and say responses needed. So if you do that, it's going to show you the ones that are still pending. I still need to do responses. Now, at any point, let's say you think you responded to all of them, you'll see down here, it says submit responses is still grayed out. So as long as you haven't responded to all of your corrections, this is going to be grayed out. So that's a good way to know if you still have some ones that you need to respond to. So these ones are a reminder. These are the ones that aren't associated with a specific document. They're those generally they're going to be an advisory, big project overarching responses. Okay. And okay, so when I do this one, now you can see it goes blank because I no longer have any comments that have responses that are needed. So I can go back to all comments, and as you can see down here, submit responses is now available for me to click. Now let's say I would actually like a copy for my own records of the correction responses I just gave. Well, you can actually download a report here if you click it. Now be mindful, you can only do this at this step, and if you use this response tool. So the file has started to download, you just got to wait a little bit. But again, once you submit responses, we don't have a way of generating this anymore. So just remember, if you want this report, and I'll show you what it looks like. If you want a report where you have your responses, oops. That's the wrong one. Wrong one. Yeah. And that will run in the background. So if you want that report, you'll have to do it at this step. So I'm just going to keep going. That's just going to run in the background. So yeah, you submit responses. And what it's going to do now, it's going to kick me back to now uploaded documents associated with those responses. So once I hit OK, I should be back on the, here you go, the submissions package. So now, like I said, it knows I had corrections on that plan set document, so it's expecting me to upload a plan set. Again, if I had corrections on the document structural calcs, it would say structural calcs. So now what I'm going to do, it's kind of like a rinse, wash, repeat on this system. Oh no, it stopped again. Come back. I wonder if it's like a timing thing. Oh, and now it says failed. Huh. This thing does not like me. All right. Well, essentially I can jump back out, but just essentially what I was going to say is it's a rinse, wash, repeat with the submitting. So the same thing that I showed earlier, where it's the document, you plop in the document and it's going to look for bookmarks. It's the exact same thing that I showed earlier. So that's pretty much all I was going to show you. Again, I can hop out and show my screen again, but just want to see if anyone has any questions. No? Anyone need me to show anything again? All right. Well, I apologize for the technical difficulties that I got kicked out. Again, my name is Raven. I am the business analyst here. Our staff are happy to help. We have our building counter email. Feel free to email us there and ask any questions. This is a new product, so we'd like to hear feedback. Oh, there's a question in the chat. But again, we like to hear feedback. If it's working or it's not working, please let me know. I'll put my email in the chat. It's really great for us to hear this feedback so we can improve our processes for you all. The question in the chat, is there a way to grant access to more than one user to a project? Yes, there is. Essentially, when you're first, it's only when you're first submitting a project. So it's going to ask you for applicant to add. That's the only time that you can add more than one applicant. If you go past that, you cannot do it yourself. You will have to reach out to the building counter staff and ask them to add people onto the BLD. And the same is with PLNs as well. Any other questions? All right. Well, I'm going to put my email in the chat again. Feel free to reach out to me. I really appreciate you all, joining and being willing to learn of our new system and engaging with it. It's really helping our staff to improve their review experience. It's been a long time coming that we needed this. And I think overall it's going to improve and also make our reviews even quicker because we're able to be more efficient with our tools. I don't know, Tina, if you have any closing words you want to say?
No, I just want to thank everyone for joining us. And I believe this is going to be posted. This video recording is going to be posted on your website, correct?
Yes, this is going to be posted, and we'll actually send out a link to wherever we end up posting it through our newsletter. So everyone will get a direct link to that hopefully this week.
Okay, great. And thank you, Raven. Really great job. Does anybody have any feedback thus far from using the new software?
I would just say, for someone who uploaded on, I think it was 2 Fridays ago, and not knowing the system and it being 300+ page document, you really want to make sure that you take care of naming the sheets, not in this program, but prior to upload. Unless you want 3 hours of your day wiped out.
Yeah, and I believe, thanks for emphasizing that. I believe Raven made a point of that a few times. So I'm not sure if anybody else has experienced that, but it's really beneficial to have that prepared before you try to submit. So, all right. Thank you everyone for being here.
All right. Goodbye.
Nice job.
Thank you so much.